120 scientists gone. Not from a startup, not from a private lab, from ISRO, one of the 6 largest space agencies in the world, the organization that landed on the moon's south pole. And the exits were serious enough that the Modi government had to act. Among those who resigned are specialists from the Chandrayaan-3 mission and the SpaceX program. These are not junior hires. These are people who spent a decade building the kind of knowledge you cannot replace with a job posting. And here is the part that changes everything. ISRO is simultaneously managing a technical investigation into an anomaly in its PSLV vehicle, India's workhorse rocket, the one that has launched satellites for dozens of countries. ISRO was formed in 1969. India at that point had no satellite, no launch vehicle, and no space infrastructure. The country had just come through a war and was managing food shortages. Nobody had India on any list of future space powers. What ISRO built over the following decades is genuinely extraordinary. It operates the INSAT communication satellite system and the IRS remote sensing constellation. These are not prestige projects. They power India's weather forecasting, disaster management, crop monitoring, and rural communications. ISRO did not get here by spending like NASA. It got here by being extraordinarily careful with money and extraordinarily demanding of its people. That second part is now the problem. Look, the research does not give us a single stated reason why 120 scientists resigned. But the pattern tells you something. Private space companies are growing fast in India. Agnikul Cosmos, for example, is preparing for Mission 2, and its board now includes former ISRO chief Somanath as an observer. When the person who led ISRO moves toward a private rocket startup, it reflects a broader shift in where Indian space ambition is being channeled. The government's response has been to introduce stricter approval norms for scientists seeking to resign or take voluntary retirement. In plain terms, leaving ISRO is now harder than it used to be. That is an unusual step for any government to take with its own employees. Here is why this matters beyond the headlines. Gaganyaan, India's first crewed spaceflight program, is still in development. ISRO recently completed the integrated main parachute airdrop test, a critical safety milestone that validates the parachute system for bringing the crew module back to Earth. Getting that right is non-negotiable, but Gaganyaan depends on continuity. You cannot swap out the engineers who designed the life support system halfway through and expect nothing to change. Every resignation is not just a personnel loss. It is a potential delay, a relearning curve, a safety review that starts again. Subscribe if a story like this is what you came here for. The government's tighter exit norms are a response, not a solution. The real test comes when Gaganyaan's crew module sits on the launch pad and whether the team that designed it is still in the room to see it fly.